Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped. Something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Another thing that comes up that I sometimes want to just bounce off of you or someone who, digs IFS and also has ADHD is what has been your experience of turning any of those symptoms into, or not turning, but dealing with some of your ADHD type stuff as parts? Or does that make sense even as a question?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it does. I think currently my primary ADHD part is just, I call him pushy busy guy.
That's funny. I was thinking about talking to one of those today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of being busy just for busy's sake. It's I'm going to do something now. And I have a lot of systems in place to get myself in the chair ready to go. And I stay in the chair and I pat myself on the back because I put in the time, but very often it's kind of wasted time. I'm still screwing around and getting distracted and not connecting what I'm doing with a bigger picture. So, so that's something I'm dealing with pretty much daily. And that's a part that I've worked with a lot. I would say there's been a lot of movement there.
Yeah.
I think that something like that, something like ADHD, you've heard me say what I have to say about it as far as kind of disagreeing with maybe Dick Schwartz's take on it. There are things that are in our bones, that are in our blood, however you want to put it.
I think of it as an operating system.
Yeah.
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 But where's the disagreement?
Just that I think I've only heard him say it's a part and I've treated mine and kind of end of story.
I
don't really see it like that.
Okay. I could see, yeah. It's just a weird, there are a lot of weird gray areas for me,
Yeah.
like with that, and then with like the body in general. Sometimes I wonder if I can relate to my body as a whole, as a part. That's some messed up languaging right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of parts show up as somatic sensations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just, yeah, there's just like weird musings that don't make any sense that I sometimes think, wonder what other people think about this, including you. So yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't hurt to treat any ADHD symptom like a part and see what happens, like, yeah. So,
It's just, yeah, some of them, certain ones feel very slippery. Like if the part is, the fast moving mind or the like easily distracted, I find it very hard to catch that ping pong ball.
yeah.
Like, and get it to talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that I'm sure that, people, we all want this like perfect power of focus, and I think that's probably where, for a lot of people, they're just starting off on the wrong foot entirely when, if that's their aim, is to have total command over any part, including distracting ones. And then it's like, I don't do that. I don't get distracted. It's like, okay, good luck.
Well,
Yeah,
I definitely don't have that kind of idea, because I don't intuitively believe that is a thing that is going to be within my grasp. I don't want to be negative or anything, but like when I do parts work, I have to, I just kind of have to navigate that. There's the images sometimes are steady. Sometimes they are just like quickly flashing before my eyes and changing from one thing to the next. And sometimes I have to really, recenter and re-self up, and so that I can determine which one of those is real, like, okay, what's, because sometimes my mind will offer up like a flip book of stuff all in one moment. And so I have to get back I have to like really express interest in the part again. I have to like renew that for it to show me what of that flip book came from it.
Right.
Makes any sense.
Have you ever tried it while walking?
No, because I find that I feel a need to close my eyes to really connect. So that would make it interesting. Yeah.
I wonder if even walking around your bedroom would work. But I live on I live on a dead end road, and I can close my eyes and walk to the end of the road basically, and I do. And I do a lot of parts work while walking.
Okay. That's not a bad idea, because I do find that when my body's in motion, my mind can be a little bit more still. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can probably find a place where I can walk without hurting myself. At least a short distance. Maybe it'll become like a Buddhist mindfulness walking meditation flash. Yeah. Even just maybe like eyes closed, eyes open isn't 100% a binary either, is it? Like you can have your eyelids cracked And that closes out a lot. That closes out a lot of the visual stimuli and whatnot. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
What would you like to explore today?
I always have like several options that I want to like, choose from. But earlier today, I said that I was going to do some work with, and I think it is likely the same we've talked with or around pusher part before, which, ties into the conversation we were having.
Right.
The part that, and I don't know if that's the same part, but maybe it's a reaction to that, to something that part is doing. So I was doing a little bit of coaching with, receiving some coaching earlier today, and the like scenario that I was looking to shift is this tendency sometimes, and it happens especially when there is text involved, like SMS. Where someone will message me something and it feels like I put an urgency on it that isn't necessary, because it requires information of me. And I have this fear that if I don't respond to it like right away, I'm going to forget. So I'll end up responding without putting my thoughts together properly or really paying attention to everything that is being said. And yeah, I just kind of end up coming off like a space cadet. And so we were talking around that, and there's the push to like respond, get it done. Like you don't want it to fall down the screen, and then, there's like I feel like it might be a combination of like pusher part and this fear of like, like being unreliable or something like that. Just like trying too hard. And also at the same time, not trying hard enough.
Yeah. The pusher is saying you're not trying hard enough if you're not getting to it right away.
The pusher is saying, hurry, respond to this. This is the, like right now in these 5 minutes between this and that, get this done because they need something from you. And, if you don't do it now that you've looked at it, you have to do something about it. And then, there's like an anxiousness around it.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a part that really wants to just say, don't look.
Don't look. Yeah. Well,
it's my solution. But anyway.
When it's from if it's from my business partner or something, I'm like, I kind of have to look and see what she's saying, And so that's, that's not going to fly in here probably. Not seeing what that, certain like kind of priority folks are saying. There's no not looking.
Got it.
Yeah. I mean, I have some other like non-parts work strategies that I've considered for this, including asking people to email me when things are more important. And that way it's not like texting is very slippery.
It really is.
Very slippery for me.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is understand this, like this tension buildup of like, gotta. And I felt the same sort of like somatically. I felt the same thing a little bit earlier. I was trying to be relaxed in perusing like places to stay on a trip that I'm going on. And that feels nice at the beginning, but there's some point at which I'm guessing it's the pusher one in there is like, yo, this is taking too much time. Like there's this like buildup of dis-ease.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all right, cool. You know, you need to like stop doing this right now or do this later or pick something or whatnot. It's like, hurry.
Yep. I just did my first world travel or overseas travel.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a 2-year process of deciding where I wanted to go. Because first I had to put all the countries in a spreadsheet. Because
I don't go that far.
You know,
I'm more like 52 Airbnb windows open.
Yeah.
And then side other windows, but definitely no spreadsheets.
All right. Can I just say one more thing, and then about just a strategy that I have with my business partner, because this part is just screaming, because we found a really good solution, and then I promise to do some IFS.
Okay.
So, my business partner she and I share not business related texts also. And, so if you send a funny meme and then it gets mixed in with the business text and both of us are trying to ignore our text and then the business thing gets ignored, we use 2 separate apps.
Mm-hmm.
So text this stuff on this app, text this stuff on that app. And that has worked really well for us. Okay, cool. I'm done. Sorry.
It's okay.
It works so well that I had to throw it out there. Okay. Tension from the pusher. That's the main one I'm hearing, and then the fear of being unreliable.
Yeah.
Any other parts coming up around that?
Not at the moment.
Do you have an idea of which of those you'd like to go to first? If they are separate?
Right. The pushy part or whatever it is that's causing that, like, it's kind of in my throat and like chest, stomach, where it's just like, it's like ramping up, trying to move me along, like go.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like earlier when I was trying to just, spend some time doing something, it was like, I could just feel this bodily buildup of tension of like, this is taking too long. Even though it's a reasonable like thing to take some time doing.
Yeah. In our last conversation, the waitress part, that was one of her phrases was going.
Yeah. 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 It's not her, but they aren't dissimilar.
Mm-hmm.
She's oriented around money here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this one's broader than that. And it's just like in general, like you said, like always feeling like I have to be doing something or nothing can take too much time. It's like constant nudging. And we talked about it once before where I was like rushing eating my lunch, like just
Right.
sucking it down and being like, what the hell? I still have 20 minutes left until I have to do something. Why did that need to be as it was?
Okay. And how do you feel towards this part?
Right away, I'm like, kind of, the word like it doesn't make sense to say I'm tired towards it, but I'm tired towards it. I don't want to say I'm tired of it because that feels very unwelcoming, but it's like kind of when you're standing there with your arms crossed and your head kind of a little bit sideways, like, yo, tired. Like I'm tired of it being this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That could be a part then.
Yeah. I'm sure it is. Someone who's not getting like, a vote because of this pushiness and this
Right.
anxious management.
And does it have anything it needs from you? Or is it okay just stepping back?
I think it's good.
How are you feeling towards the pusher?
I'm feeling inquisitive. I can't get a real read on it.
Okay. Let it know you're feeling inquisitive.
Mm-hmm.
And ask what it wants you to know.
Mm. It's like, I'm tired too, but we got to go. Like, chop, chop. That's the best I can get. And it feels very faint. Like, I feel doubts as to whether this part is communicating with me at this moment or not. Like, you
could just let it know that you'd like to learn more about it, how it's doing.
Okay, I think I'm getting more of an image, and yeah, he's just very busy. He's just running around with his little clipboard and all that.
Yeah, see if you can get his attention. Invite him to notice you.
He's like, kind of big sigh, like, oh, God, you're slowing me down, wanting to have this conversation.
Okay. Well, you could offer to kind of meet him in the middle.
What does that mean?
You can walk beside him. You can, kind of join him in his environment some.
Okay, I'll try.
or notice what it is he's working on.
He's like, he's working on everything. He's like, I'm working on everything. What are you talking about? What am I working on? I'm working on all the things. All the things.
Mm-hmm.
He's managing everything. He's managing everything.
Mm-hmm. How's he like his job?
He's he's like a lot of big sighing and kind of like, he would like it if it was not quite so hectic, but he's like, it's just, this is the way it is, like, this is the way it has to be.
Is there some other way he would like to communicate that's not as frustrating for him?
The answer I got quickly was like, all communication takes time.
Definitely.
All frustrating for him because he's, super busy, which feels kind of related to the whole topic that brought this up. Like not taking enough time with communication because of feeling too busy.
Yeah, check that out with him. If any of that resonates, or if he sees the difficulty there.
It's like he's doing a whole bunch of different stuff, and some of it is like, like what a kid would think of as like science experiments with like beakers and shit and Bunsen burners and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I got distracted by that, or not distracted, but I was observing it when you were speaking and I didn't hear what you said.
Trying to remember.
It's okay. The last
I got distracted by the Bunsen burners.
That's okay. The last time we tried to talk to this part, it was like giving me this idea that it did like its job just fine. And I don't necessarily get that from the image of him. It's like very high anxiety.
Yeah. I remember what I had asked was about the impact on the communication and just how he felt about that, or if he noticed that as being a problem.
It's like he's really sensitive about that. Like he doesn't want me to point that out, like he's really, I just ran into something. He's really, I think he does feel bad about it, but he's like, what do you want from me? Like, I have all this stuff to tend to. And yeah, like there's going to be things that slip through the cracks.
Mm-hmm. And what do you want for him?
I mean, the first answer that comes is like a vacation.
Uh-huh.
You know, that he would go for that.
But you notice his high anxiety and you
Yeah. Yeah, I would like him to be able to, you know, not rush around so much while he's observing his Bunsen burners and beakers and stuff. Like, I'd like for him to be able to do one thing at a time. Because he's like running around. It's not, he's like, there's so many different kinds of things that he's doing.
Yes.
Like,
I think I know. I mean, it just sounds so much like the part in me.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's like 1 nanosecond in each station. And then he just
right. Right. Looks very busy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And it doesn't look fun at all. It could be like where he is. It looks like it could be fun there. Could be interesting.
Maybe that could be a question for him. Is there a way in which he could accomplish what he accomplishes in a more fun way?
He says, it's like, I've thought about it, but he just doesn't see a way.
Would he like one if that were possible? If you could help him with that? Or with the anxiety?
Yeah. He's like, when you said that, he just like let out this big scream. And he's like wearing suspenders and stuff, and he like ripped off his suspenders. Very interesting.
You say ripped them off?
Yeah, it was like, rah, you know, like, rah. It's got like pocket protector and suspenders and like glasses and a little lab coat and stuff.
Why is he screaming?
I think he just needed to.
Okay.
I don't think it was like, I'm scared of what's happening right now. It was just like, you want to offer me something? Here's what I need right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to know. Parts know what they need.
Yeah.
Is there more he wants to show you about what would be good for him, helpful for him?
He would like to just do his experiments without having so many other like side projects that he has to tend to. But the sentiment seems to be something like, you know, like, how am I going to keep you from fucking up if I'm running around like crazy like this?
Okay. So there's the experiments he enjoys. There's the side projects that are just he feels like he has to get through.
Well, he just feels like he has to manage everything. Like all of this information that's constantly coming in. he feels like he's like the qualified one to oversee all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, the scheduling, the texting, the emailing, the WhatsApp,
Mm-hmm.
I already said that one, blah, blah, blah. And then like all of the other, like wellness things that are supposed to happen,
Mm-hmm.
like freaking laundry or whatever, like all the things. He's like,
yes,
all the things are supposed to be done. And he's like, how am I supposed to enjoy my laboratory if, there's too much stuff. He's like, there's too much stuff on his desk. There's too much stuff in general.
Yeah. Okay. He likes experimenting and he likes his laboratory, but there's too much stuff in general.
Yeah. He just has to keep things. At this moment, I don't know what the experiments are on. Like, I don't know. That's not what I expected.
Maybe you could ask him to imagine if you were to just whisk away all the busy work or all the stuff that he's not interested in, what would that leave him? What is he like with his experiments?
He's got like a smirk now on his face, like a kind of a mischievous smirk, but he's not telling me yet what it is that, what his experiments are about. He would just like to have less things to tend to. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's like all I get from him at this moment.
Okay. So what's next? Should we focus on that relationship, or should we ask more about his concerns? What happens if you don't do some of those things?
Yeah, that one. The second one.
Mm-hmm. Things that are supposed to be done, keep you from fucking up.
Yeah. Like there's like a strong feeling around disappointing other people, letting them down, being unreliable. But also, I mean, there's letting my own self down, because he's managing, like I said, like wellness stuff and keeping up with stuff that doesn't have to do with really anybody but me. But the stronger feeling is around being unreliable. Yeah, just not like, just not being someone who can be counted on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he have more he wants to say about that?
He says it's unacceptable to not show up, like to not be trusty and dependable and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And just for the sake of being thorough, what's unacceptable about it?
Because he doesn't want me to be a shitty person.
Mm-hmm. And unacceptable in the eyes of others?
Yeah. Unacceptable in the eyes of others and hurtful to others.
Yeah.
Like if you don't show up, it makes life harder for others too.
It does.
And everybody's like trying really hard.
Yeah. And how long has he been working in this way?
He looks very young to me, so I'm like, can't be too terribly long. He doesn't give me a chronological answer. It's more like ever since I had to, or, something like that. Since there were this many things to tend to, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since, like, yeah, this answer comes a lot with me. It's like, yeah, since adulthood, or like, since we had to.
Mm-hmm.
Since email. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, well, yeah, since adulthood, since there, and that's not how he says it. It's just like ever since there was this much shit to do.
Right.
Like,
how are you feeling towards him?
Yeah, just compassionate.
Mm-hmm. And he has helped you in answering some of those texts and being on the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just giving you time to decide what's next.
Yeah, it's like one of the things that sometimes they don't like speak to me, but I get what they're saying. And it was like one of his answers to like, how long have you been doing this, was like, since the end of fun.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of like, not a bunch, but there's interrupting parts that are like, it's not true, we have fun sometimes. And
Mm-hmm. Or maybe he can help clarify what type of fun ended.
just like, the kind of fun like where you don't have to like send 25 text messages to your friends to try to find a time when both of you are free.
Yeah.
Or like,
I remember those days.
back when you had enough time to like run errands with someone or ride around town together, or, where it didn't have to be an act of fucking Congress to
Just
to
hang
be
out.
with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's kind of felt like ever since then, he's got to run around and take care of all this shit.
Mm-hmm. And does he have any requests, or does he see any ways in which you might be able to help him?
Less things to take care of,
Okay.
or less, it's weird because he's the pusher part, but he's not the one who loads up my calendar. Like,
Right.
so he's just like, well, I'm just responding to the workload. Like,
Right.
there's this
Yes.
many things that I have to fucking deal with. So yeah, I'm going to have to make you feel stressed out while you look at Airbnbs or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So since he's not the one putting the stuff in the pipeline, he's asking if you could somehow adjust to that.
Yeah. Which is coming from a bunch of different parts. Like, it's undeniable. It's almost, I've joked around about like parts organizing and like picketing, like I feel like there's, a union forming in there, and they're like, we need less shit to deal with.
Yeah.
And there's an argumentative part about that that's like, you're not like some high-powered CEO or something, like, There's a part that believes that my load isn't so heavy, and that I am being, like a big baby, or that all these other parts are being a big baby.
Okay.
I would have thought that he was part of that sentiment, but
yeah, he's more of he's more of a worker bee.
Yeah, he's just, like I said, he's just like responding to the flow of traffic. He's like, whoa, text, email, blah, blah, blah. Like, got to make sure to get back to this person. Look at this to-do list and look at all these things we have constantly to do. He has been given like his own chunk of time, like on a weekly basis, and that's helping. But
time to do what?
To tend to the things that need to be, like, to task management time.
Right,
basically.
right.
Task management time.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, it doesn't matter if you give me 1 hour a week if there's 10
hours of things to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So would it make sense to look for that part? The one who's signing up, saying yes, putting these things in on the workload.
Well, yeah. I think we've already gotten to one of them, which is the waitress part.
Okay.
She was driving some of that.
Taking extra shifts.
Yeah. Working a double.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did do some work with what I was calling my intensity junkie part.
Okay.
And she's not a junkie. She's just intense and enthused. And
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. And she pointed to, she's like, yo, as far as like constantly certain aspects of my busyness, she's like, oh, that's because of this imposter part, this part that needs to prove itself or needs to soak up, massive amounts of information. Like she's like, I'm just, she's normal, like normal hyper focus, fun hyper focus where you're like, yeah, let's find out everything about this. But when it becomes like, there's like the slave driveriness where it's like, oh, I have these moments. I'm very tired. I'm going to read this book for professional development or whatever.
Right.
Like she's nah, that's not me. She's like, I'm just trying to help this imposter part, not feel so upset about things.
Okay.
So, but that's a part on the list for sure.
Okay. So imposter part, the waitress whom you've worked with. And then there was one right before that says, you're not a high-powered CEO. Don't be a big baby. I wonder if that part is also
a pushing,
striving.
Yeah, it's like there's always, and I don't know if it's the same part every time because it's different types of things, but there's always a struggle minimizer type of, like, it's not that bad,
Right.
And I don't know if it's the same one every time or if there's different struggle minimizing, voices for different topics. But it's like, it's this feeling as though like you should be able to deal with all this. It's not, like you don't have any kids. You don't it's not like the decisions that you're making are, you're not a fucking air traffic controller or something. Like, why can't you handle all of this and some more? Something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's like the whole other people can do this. What's wrong with you kind of thing.
Yeah. I know other people built the whole city and here I am just chatting on a podcast.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Would you like to try getting to know any of those parts now?
Yeah. The imposter one I think is exile-y, so that probably needs to be another time because of time. So probably this like minimizing, like, oh my God, your life's not that hard or stressful. What are you whining about kind of part is probably the best. Mm-hmm. That will help with the getting to the other one eventually too, I think.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. All right. How do you feel towards that one?
I mean, yeah, I get why it says what it says. I understand like comparison and such. And I also understand like productivity culture. Like,
okay.
Like, I think I'm cognitive. I'm getting cognitive about the part is what I'm doing.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
How do you feel in your heart about that part?
In my heart, I feel a little resentful. Yeah. I think, and I'm seeing the face again of the pusher, which I don't even want to call him that anymore. Mm-hmm. The scientist? I don't know I'll ask him later. Yeah. But I saw his face when I said I'm feeling resentful. I think he's feeling resentful too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. Let's try asking those parts for space.
He's going to stand nearby with his clipboard and stuff. He's like, all right.
Interesting.
He's like,
okay, I can stop for this.
What's that?
He's like, I can stop for this.
Right. He's like, I want to see what this one has to say. Like, because, like he's fielding all of this crazy busyness. And this other part's like, you're not that busy. And he's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
kind of like,
Okay.
how dare you?
Does he feel like you understand how busy he is and what
The
it's like for him?
scientist
The
part?
pusher, the scientist.
He's giving me a nod, like, yeah.
Okay. You might just let him know that you're able to advocate for him. He won't have to jump in and as you talk to the struggle minimizer.
Okay. Like, I was like, I got this. Why don't you go and do an experiment, like in a relaxed way while I'm having this conversation? And, like, I don't know how to describe this, but like when like dudes almost get in a fight and then they're like walking away from each other, but they're like keep looking at each other.
Yeah.
They're walking a different direction, but they're like, it's kind of like
Right.
that. Except
good.
I don't think he would be very good at like physical fights. He's very,
Right.
he's very gangly. But he's letting this other part know, which I can't see that part yet, but
Okay.
letting this other part know that he has beef about those statements.
Okay.
He's giving me a thumbs up. So
Okay.
seems like he trusts me to advocate for him. As you said, I like that word.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. So invite that struggle minimizer who says, "Oh my God, your life's not that hard." Let that part know you want to get to know it.
I'm going to hesitate to give too many details, but I'm just going to say I'm very surprised to see a part that looks like this part or has the vibe of this part in here. It's very, like, I get this sense that this part is, I'm trying to be peaceful here, but like I get the feeling that this part is of a completely other like political and worldview type of mindset than the rest of us or most of us in here. So it's like, whoa, where'd you come from?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. All parts welcome.
Oh, it's welcome. It's just like, oh, surprising. It's yeah.
Yeah. You can let it know that you're surprised and you sound happy to learn about it.
Okay. I'm going to admit that I'm still having some unwelcoming feelings. And I don't think they come from the scientists.
Yeah, the ones that see this other part as an other.
Yeah, they're like, what?
Not part of the gang.
Oh, yeah, they're like, yeah. They're not welcoming of him.
Okay.
2 male parts today. Interesting too.
Ask them for space.
It's like I'm turning around to this sort of a crowd of like a cheering crowd or something, like, again, it's like me being like, can I please act on your behalf or, not, yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like, would you guys let me have this? There's a number of them.
Number of them that have felt kind of minimized.
Yeah, or that they're just like, yeah, like you said, they see this one as an other. They feel like he's sort of insulting them.
Yeah, just let them know you see that, and he may have insulted all of them. So
It's true. I think so. Yeah, I think that's likely.
Mm-hmm.
This part is like the representation of like the sentiment of you should be able, just like the bootstrap dude or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird because like the pusher part, the anxious part that we were starting with, I thought he was going to come out in that way.
Right.
But he's just like, no, I need you to turn down flow. And this guy is more like Mr. Bootstrapper, like,
Yeah,
like,
the last guy's more of a project manager, and you called this one a CEO.
okay, I'm still having problems because like I'm like, no, I don't want to call this one the CEO.
Oh, sorry. You know what? I'm totally wrong. You said that it said you're not a high-powered CEO. Sorry.
Oh, yes. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, this guy is not a CEO, but he definitely admires anyone who is and does not admire me as a system, at least.
Feeling curious?
Yeah. I'm feeling, yeah. Yeah, it's like, whoa, how'd you get in here? Oh. I don't mean that at this moment, I don't mean it in an unwelcoming way. I'm just like, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. And does he notice that right now he's welcome?
Let me just make sure that I'm clear of unwelcomingness because he does not buy it, which I understand. The rest of the parts that have an issue with him are still there. So in the place where we are, it seems like we could step into a room or something. I think that is what's going to be necessary. And still having a really hard time, like, because it felt very real when I said that he admires, high-powered executives and does not respect me. Like, it feels very real to say that. And I'm having trouble, like, not feeling defensive, even trying to step into another place with him.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's parts in you that have been disrespected by him.
Yeah, like a lot.
Yeah.
Like relentlessly and endlessly, which I guess are synonyms, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like they really have your attention.
Yeah.
Just let them know you see them. They're also welcome. Invite them to notice you.
Yeah, it's like they want me to get rid of him somehow. And I know that that's, like that's not how it works.
And it's also the most normal thing for a part to say about another.
Yeah. They're like,
yeah,
get him out of here, man. Like,
yeah, we get it.
How do we get rid of him? But I know it's not it.
Well, maybe you convey that to them, that we can't get rid of parts, but that you can get to know them. help them relax, help them communicate, help understand what it is they're working for, and find those shared values.
Okay. I think I'm okay for the moment.
All right. You got your room? Your room all to yourself now?
Well, me and him.
Great. What does he want you to know about himself?
You know, the kind of usual, like he's just looking out for me, but it's like, oh yeah. There's not yet a tenderness about him. It's just like, not that there has to be, but it's like he's not, like when the other parts were looking at him, like he needs to be out of here or he needs to change. He's looking at me as a community, if you will. Like he's like, he doesn't.
It's new to him.
Yeah. And there was a moment where I had some like real compassion towards him because I was like, oh, he's like stuck in here with a bunch of parts that don't like him.
Do you no longer have real compassion for him?
Well, what I mean is like the feeling was strong for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of neutralized. I guess I keep flip-flopping back into, well, he's so mean to the other parts, like,
Yeah.
They don't want to stay in the hallway, apparently, They're like, they're
right.
keeping like, yeah, we're leaving. and then I will again feel whatever I'm feeling towards him. And I'm like, oh, somebody's slipped in again.
Yeah. So my intuition is just to continue validating that that has been their experience. That this part could have been the meanest part to all of them. And that matters.
Yeah, it's like the rest of them are basically saying like, we're doing our best. And this dude is a jerk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just let them know you get that. And that you can also take the time to learn more about their experience too. How's it going?
I want to say it's going well. Like I'm just telling them like, I love you guys, I'm sorry that it's been hard for you. And there's a feeling of like down leveling of the, you know, the like lump in the throat feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not minimizing their struggle. We're just
No. I feel like they're at the back of me now instead of like coming out the front.
Yeah.
It's just it's difficult to imagine them staying there as I'm confronting this dude. But
okay. And even that, the idea that we're doing any confronting.
Yeah. See, that's them too, isn't it? Oh.
It's okay. It's okay. You got to see a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he's an interesting.
And if you have 20 parts rabble rousing, then it could take some time to get that quiet listening space with this one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like they keep being like, yeah, we're cool. As soon as there's like curiosity or compassion, they're like, wait, what are you doing?
Yeah. Okay.
So it's interesting.
So I'm just looking at the clock.
It's cool. It's okay to have one for another time. I mean, we did get to change another part's name like I keep having to do.
That's awesome. Yeah, that part you got to know very well. It sounds to me like these parts who have their grievances need to be more acknowledged, witnessed. They need to know that the compassion that you give to another part isn't going to take away from what you have for them.
They're just like really concerned that I'm going to be swayed by his perceptions or judgments or whatnot. And they're like, no, we don't need to talk to him. They're like, you could just leave him in the room and then we could just like maybe put something heavy in front of the door.
Yeah. You know, well, wasn't the problem that you are relentlessly taking to some degree swayed by his opinions? I mean, isn't that what they're concerned about? So keeping him locked up,
crazy.
You know,
it's funny to say eye-opening when you have your eyes closed, but it's just very weird. It's like mind-blowing. How counter to me this part is. It's just like, and it's also mind-blowing. Like, I don't know how to describe this. It's like when I separate him out, you know, and can see him and whatnot. First of all, it's like, whoa, what? And I'm just really surprised that he is influencing me that much. It's just, I don't know how to, there aren't really words to capture the weirdness of this
at
the moment. It's like, there was one time when I saw a demo and it was, the client was a Black woman and the part that she encountered was like a little white boy. And she was like, whoa, where is that coming from? She was like, that's different. And that's how I'm like, whoa, this is different. Like, you know, as you know, I've encountered all kinds of strange creatures and like otherworldly beings and stuff. But this is not an otherworldly being. This is like right here from the good US of A.
And I'm like,
yeah.
not that that's bad, but it's just like very weird. This is a strange.
It's not bad, but it does. But like you said, it feels counter to you.
It's just surprising
Mm-hmm.
and strange. And I am curious in this moment while I'm saying these words.
Quick, go.
I am curious. All right, go. And I'm not saying like, and that's why we're going to do this now, but like, yeah, we'll definitely kind of come back to this.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh,
Yeah.
I definitely want to hear what he'll say once I can get clear, but I couldn't do that today.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
You got a lot of, it sounds to me like you got a lot of clarity.
I was about to say, I said it, I couldn't get clear today and that's okay. And I was like, well, he probably doesn't think so, but you know, cause he's always like, you could do better. Or you should be able to handle everything and do everything perfectly or whatever. Okay. This is very interesting as usual.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Stay in touch. Look forward to hearing how it goes. And I imagine you probably don't, I don't know if you have any more on my calendar, but I'm going to open up some new dates in the next week, I think.
Cool. We'll try to get in there before I leave for my trip.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
nice
you.
Night.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. I think all I need to say before we do IFS is thank you for the work, you know, all of the work that we've done, but the most recent one that you sent me, which I still don't feel like I'm going to say that I want to put out into the world. But I'm sorry, one of my cats is a nut. If you just heard a crash, it was someone else. But yeah, re-listening to it, I just really appreciated how you showed up and, you know, how patient and gentle you were in that session. It was one of those where we kind of had one of those like divergent moments towards the end, but I really felt anchored and yeah, I really appreciate it. Like,
so glad to hear it.
That was a tough moment for me.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I just was agreeing that it was tough.
Yeah, I've made a lot of progress since then. You know, I've done some work in other places with that, and just re-listening to it brings me back to this. And I mean, I never really believe that anything's insurmountable, but at the beginning of that session, I felt like maybe there was, I don't know, it just felt like a hurdle that I might not clear. And it doesn't feel that way anymore. And I mean, a few people have helped me with it, but you were, kind of the one that helped me crack it open and
All right.
kind of trudge through some of the really sludgy parts of it. So
yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
And thank you back.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like a big piece, of the puzzle of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
And in general, but especially for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's all.
Awesome. Okay. Ready to get started?
Sure.
Minutes of meditation?
Dose.
All right. Here goes the timer.
Okay.
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 Do you know what you'd like to explore today?
Well, I always have a couple things kind of popping off. There's a few things that have come up, and there's the one that we left the last time, which was really strange to me.
Yes.
And there was like the scientist guy that came before that last one, showed up, and I feel like he's only part of the like busy, pushy feelings. I feel like that's a multi-part like drive. So that's kind of a thing I want to revisit at some point.
Okay.
I still on the back burner. I have these parts that revolve around food and eating and stuff that I want. I don't want to put them on the back burner forever, but they seem to be, like low priority, which I don't like to say that about any parts.
Right.
And then, like, I was with my family recently, and I noticed myself getting really exasperated with my mom. And that's okay. It's okay to do that. But the way that it comes out and the fact that I don't, in that moment, choose to outwardly express it, yet it is clearly visible, feels like a problem to me.
Yeah.
It feels like a part gone wild, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of, and I probably should spend our meditation like settling upon which part it is that I'm going to deal with, but I
take all the time you like.
That I don't often arrive at that whenever we're doing the meditation.
So the stuff with mom, food and eating, and then the scientist part from last time, and which led us to the loading up the calendar struggle minimizer part.
Oh yeah, but that one just feels so foreign to me.
Yeah, all the parts were picketing and not quite wanting you to, or letting you be alone with it.
Yeah. Like my interest, like my, intrigue is there for that. And then, but like, it almost feels like sort of emotional duty feelings about the mom part. 'Cause it's like, affecting a relationship that I have. I need a mental like coin to flip or something. It's not like I don't have other sessions coming up. So let's go back to the odd man out. I'm going to call him, because I do not. It's just so strange. The one that showed up at the scientist session.
Yeah.
I think the scientist part I think he's involved in this busy feeling, but I think he just came out like of a conglomerate of busy anxiety type parts. And I think I'd like to get back to him one day, but I think he just wants to experiment. but he's like overloaded and overworked and stuff.
Exactly. That he was saying his calendar is too full, and he's not the one. He wasn't the one loading it up.
Yeah, and neither was this other. I feel this apprehension about calling this other part what I call it to myself, because it feels, I don't want to, there's an awareness in me of the listenership and I don't want to say anything that will feel offensive to anyone. Not that I have an offensive thing to say about this part, but I'm just like, when I refer to it to my friends, I'm like, there's a Republican guy in there. Like, I don't know what's going on. And he didn't state that. It was just like I could just feel this complete, I don't know. It's just very weird. And so, there's a part of me that wants to make like a blanket,
One thing that is awesome about your work is how you have names for parts, and you almost always have revisions to those names once you get to know them.
That is sometimes true. Not always, but yes, that's true. Like that, that part just kind of hit me pretty much right off the bat. Like, whoa, what's this guy doing in here? And there's a part that's very concerned that even saying that, or, like that any use of that kind of word is divisive, or, like that it alienates.
Well, your system was feeling divided and parts were feeling alienated.
Very. Well, I mean, the thing is that part has the most, like, of anyone in that moment, has the most claim to feeling alienated, because there's only one of him, and there was like a whole crowd of, dislikers, and some of them were scared of him. Some of them were, the scientist guy wanted to brawl with them.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, he's very much the odd man out in there.
Yeah. So how are all those parts feeling today about you getting to know him better?
I mean, because I have not yet fully conjured him, there's not a lot of activity. One part that's showing up at this moment is like, it's a part that it like shows up and it's like, all right, this is now getting to be fantastical. Like, now we're making up stuff, like, and it showed up before and said things like that, but it's like, all right, this is getting silly, like, how could this, be anything but some kind of, figment of imagination, or like, now you're just sort of entertaining yourself.
Yeah. I took some notes about some descriptions of this part from last time. I don't know if just a couple words, if you would like to hear just what I recall.
Yeah. Bring it on.
Okay. Bootstrapper, struggle minimizer, loads up my calendar, slave driver. Life isn't that hard. You should be able to handle more. And productivity culture.
I don't know that he is the loader of the calendar, but he's the one. He basically is just like, he drives the sentiment of like, quit your whining, you know,
Uh-huh.
like none of your stuff about your life is too hard. You know,
Yes.
like
Yes.
any other parts that want to whine and complain about how much stuff we have to do, you know,
Uh-huh.
they just need to buck up and
Yeah.
quit being wussies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. He doesn't load the calendar. He's just like, quit bitching. Like,
quit bitching about the calendar being loaded or whatever else.
And quit bitching about anything. Like, nothing's overwhelming. Like, eye roll. He's one of the many eye rolling parts, you know. There's them. But he's, I was very surprised by the appearance of him. I think you had asked me or something like, where is that coming from? Some statement that I made about, like, I don't know. It was like he just, like, all of a sudden was standing there just foreign as ever. And I just was immediately like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
and
like, yeah.
The part that was concerned about making things up. How's it doing?
Well, I mean, that if we allow that part to have it say and be like, well, you could have made that up, you know, you can make things up spontaneously.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel as sure. You know, it's not like as much arms crossed about it.
Yeah. I kind of get the feeling even if one was to make something up, we'd still probably learn something.
Yeah. That's.
I mean, I don't know that, but
yeah, I think my approach to that. Well, there are a few things when a part like that shows up. The first thing I think is, well, you know, if you think I'm making this stuff up, then you are also made up.
Right.
But also, there's just kind of the, like, my sentiment towards that is, well, humor me. Like, you know, maybe if he and maybe you or whoever isn't, you know, is made up, then it's made up it's made up by a part of me that's smarter than my, you know, normal thoughts, or wiser, you know, like a part of me that understands something that I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm choking on some water. Okay. But yeah, I was listening.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think let me check in. I mean, sometimes I notice I'm like just saying things and then I have to. Okay. I think for the moment that part can, you know, kind of stand a few feet back with its arms crossed over its chest.
All right.
Yeah.
And how about the rest?
They're not an angry mob at the moment, but they still don't like it. They're like, no, that guy's a jerk. He's mean to us. Like, well, don't talk to him. Don't listen to him. And yeah, it's like that whole, I mean, these are parts that are familiar to me. And also, like, it just feels like there's a whole bunch of more there that I don't even know.
Yeah, he's a jerk. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, they're just like, it's like the feeling I get is they're just like, can't we just get rid of him? Like, can we just, and the answer is, I don't think that's a thing.
I don't think it's a thing.
So,
nope.
You know, this dude is your neighbor.
dude is your family.
Yeah, well, I mean, to them, I don't want to try to make them jump
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
But he is in a whole other way and layer. He is my family.
Yeah.
In a non-internal way as well. Yeah. I mean, he's not, but he has things in common with my family. So, yeah.
Okay.
I'm still seeing him. Like, there was this weird kind of conference table kind of room that he ended up in the last time, and they're all kind of standing in the hallway. And I remember them telling me just lock the door, and like, you can just come out and be with us, and you can just lock him in there. It's cool. Like, if we can't get rid of him, then we'll just put him in there. We'll just
exile
leave
him.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not lost on me. Oh, yeah. The gentle ones want to exile him. I'm not saying that all of the ones that don't like him are gentle ones, but most of them are.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It's an interesting juxtaposition of.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And their feelings are valid, also welcome.
It's like when I'll see myself like come out into the hallway and they're all like cheering, like, yay. And then I'm just trying to tell them, like, there's no reason why it's not worth a try to like go in there and for me by myself to have a conversation.
Yeah,
like,
he won't harm. He won't harm you.
Right. What can that hurt? And then like all of the like happy sounds just come to a complete silence. Like, oh, you still want to do that?
Sometimes you can negotiate just in a way of like time, like, all right, just give me 4 minutes.
I think some of them kind of need a hug and just like a reminder that he's not going to change my connection with them, or
right. Yeah, they can all still have their private time with you.
Yeah.
And that you recognize that there has been conflict. And so it's for them also.
Yeah. There's still something like it seems okay out here in the hallway. There's still something that is like thickening my, I don't know how to describe this feeling or sense, but it's like I'm not clear just yet. There's still something that is believing that this is not like a real character too. There's like something that believes that this conversation is not like coming from the same place as the other conversations that I have in this work. Like something that it's still that same part that's like, yeah, this is made up. This guy he's made up.
Yeah.
It's very, it's like, yeah, I'll relax. And then when I'm not looking, it's there again. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It feels like there's like a thickening at my forehead. I don't know how to make that sound like it makes sense, but it just,
That's
there's
fine.
something.
Yeah. It's another way for a part to do its protecting.
Mm-hmm.
I can offer to go speak with that part also.
I don't know if I don't know how to do that because I don't know how to be blended with this part
Mm-hmm.
in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
What maybe there's like an not quite direct access kind of thing where you say something and then I just report back what he's saying, which instead of like, yeah, that's the best I can do. Like as far as what could feel like it could happen,
Yeah.
It feels like it'll be secondhand. Even if I say I blah blah blah, it won't be like I'm really for the moment. It won't be like I'm in the part like I am when I get frustrated with my mom. So where it's like coming out and there's nobody else is there. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you've talked about like a hallway and him in a room. You can make like another room where it's like the chamber in between them where you're not necessarily in that room.
Yeah, I'm okay with I can be in the room with him. It's like there's something like I feel like this is a real slow moving session. Oh, okay. I can be in the room with him. It's like a lot of the times when it's like you're going to talk to the part, it's when I can't get separate from the part.
Mm-hmm. And
this is different. But yeah, let's just try.
Okay.
And I'll just tell you what he says.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So we're in the room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'd like to let this part know for me that I'm super curious.
Yeah.
And that I'm very confident that this part, like all the parts I've met to date, have good intentions and are there for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he isn't saying anything yet.
Okay. And what I'm most curious to know is anything he wants to tell me, but really kind of like what it's like.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's just like, he thinks my other parts are a bunch of whiners.
Yeah.
And he's got a real dismissive sort of way about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he doesn't convey any emotion,
mm-hmm.
About being so singular.
Right. And that's one of the problems he has with those other parts is they're emotional, right?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Yeah. And what role what is valuable? What does he want for your system?
He's just really he's very, I keep wanting to call him dismissive, but I don't think that's what he would say about himself. He's like really over it in regards to any and all feelings of being overwhelmed. Like he thinks that's lame, and that he, like, his stance is that my life, you know, isn't hard enough for that to be an issue.
Okay. And he's seen you overwhelmed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Overwhelmed and trying to avoid it being overwhelmed as well.
Yeah. And is that kind of his like job too, is avoiding that overwhelm?
No.
Okay.
No, his job is to kind of roll his eyes at the notion that my life could be overwhelmed. He's just like, you know, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
Like he's very often like comparing my life to the lives of other people who are, you know, juggling more, or, you know, just nose to the grindstoning, and it's just the way that it is. And he just thinks everybody needs to get over it.
Yeah. And why is that important? Why is that comparing important?
Because he's like, you know, comparing is important because that's how he proves his point. He's just like, he just thinks that I'm like pathetic, being overwhelmed by this life. And by all the things I'm overwhelmed by.
Okay.
And his sentiment is suck it up, you know, like get over it. Stop whining. Or even stop, you know, even when there's not whining happening, there's not ever really too much external whining going on, but like he doesn't even he's just kind of super dismissive of any kind of thoughts or feelings in regards to anything being like too much of anything, or, you know, he's part of like, you just have to work your ass off. There's other parts that are like that too, but he's like, not only do you have to work your ass off, but you need to suck it up and not complain about it.
Yeah. And we did a good job of understanding some of those work your ass off parts.
Yeah.
I just want to let him know that we got them. We appreciate them.
Yeah.
But I'm still curious about the whining. Yeah, what's he afraid would happen if that went unchecked?
Well, first of all, the first thing that he's afraid would happen is that I would be even less likable to him. Or this system. I don't know if I should say I or not, but this life or this way that we show up in the world, that would be like, he would find it embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond that, he's like, yeah, he's just very convinced that sucking it up is the only way. Like, just suck it up and go to work. And, he just is like, you can't escape this. You can't escape the way that life is. So there's no point in like having any feelings about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he feels.
Yeah.
And he doesn't.
It all makes sense to me.
Yeah, he doesn't want me, us, whatever, to be. Yeah, wasting our time and energy feeling. Yeah, trying to catch a break or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Or feeling like, that I need more time not working my ass off. He's like, no, you don't. Nobody does. Nobody gets that. Or, some people do, but you don't. And yeah, again, I feel a little repetitive, but his stance is quit complaining, quit being, quit having feelings.
Those will make you less likable.
Quit being easily overwhelmed or even moderately overwhelmed.
Right. And the main reasons that I was hearing are the less likable and it's not going to change the nature of life. So you're wasting your energy.
Yeah. And he doesn't like the sensitive parts.
Yeah. The sensitive parts, the vulnerable parts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He doesn't seem to care really that they don't like him either.
Does it feel like the vulnerable parts are make the system less safe?
I would guess that is, in there, but he doesn't crack when you say that. He's not, he's just.
Well, yeah. I mean, it might even be vulnerable to say that. So
exactly.
Yeah, I get it. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of built into the definition, and I don't want to lead the witness here too much, but
yeah,
I'm only making some guesses because I've seen that in myself and everyone.
Yeah. There's also a part that's coming up because I labeled this part as a thing, and there's a part that wants anyone who hears this to know that that the rest of my parts do not associate the label that I put on this part with like him. Like, I don't know how to say it, but that is not that one-dimensional sort of view is not what we, it's a conglomerate
Okay.
define.
Yeah, and maybe there are parts that do, and that's okay. I think what we're really trying to uncover is how self is, if self is here, and how you feel towards this part.
Honestly, yeah, I just feel unliked by this part. Which I know means that I am not in self.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he might not know self very well, and he might not have any reason to like self. You know, like it.
Yeah. I feel protective of my other parts in his presence.
Yeah.
I feel defensive. I feel untrusting.
Okay. Good noticing. Those parts are welcome.
Yeah. I feel like a little combative too, somewhat. Yeah.
Okay. Untrusting, combative.
Protective, which is similar to untrusting, I guess.
Yeah, maybe it's a good time, since we did learn quite a bit from this part. Maybe it's a good time to check back in with those other ones that feel that way.
Yeah, it seems very difficult for me to be in this room by myself with him. How I think I'm there. I think I'm curious. I'm like, yes, I'm very intrigued by this fella being here. But just like it seems to slip.
Yeah.
It seems to slip because
these
I don't know, my parts are just like liquefying themselves and coming under the door or something.
Yeah. They're really concerned.
Yeah, they are. I think there's some there's some parts that feel very judged
by him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's saying feelings are bad, and these parts are feelings, right? Like,
yeah. He's just like, yeah, we should just all be like me, like everybody should just do what I do. And there's parts that I get a sense that it's beyond dislike. It's like he's disgusted by some of my parts.
Yeah, so just let them know that you see that. That you don't want to minimize that, even if he has minimized them.
Like he judges a lot of things.
Right? Yeah.
He's overall just unimpressed.
Unimpressed. Yeah.
Yeah. With the life I'm not sure what to say these sometimes, but the life we have created and led. He is unimpressed with the decisions that we've made. He's just, yeah,
so just let them know that you get that, and that matters to you. Us learning about him doesn't invalidate any of that.
Just makes it hard to be
It
with.
does. Yeah. Yeah. And we tell parts, if you need to jump back in, you can jump back in. So
Well, they've definitely
yeah, so and it's okay.
they've definitely taken us up on that a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you feeling towards those parts that jumped back in?
I love those parts.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, let them know that. Let them know you love them.
Difficult.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Because he's like mean to them.
Right.
And yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, I get it. You love these parts. He's mean to these parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were starting to learn what motivates him and why.
I feel like, yeah, when I go to say something from him, like I want to argue with him.
Right.
Like, he is interested in being competent and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, we are am.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But he wants more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less emotion, more get her done.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Which, at moments I'm able to be like, okay, now that could be maybe a good thing at times.
Well, and even if it's not a good thing at times in the present,
yeah,
that message or his role, it must have been valuable at some time. It must have some purpose.
Yeah. I just don't understand why it has to be delivered in such a rude way.
Right. That hurts and invalidates the other parts. Yeah.
I mean, he's like rejecting us, me, my life.
You say more about that part that feels rejected?
It's a bunch of them. It's, it's really hard this one is really tricky because it's like, he rejects everything but himself. That's what it feels like. And I don't have any other parts that are that antisocial in here with each other,
Right.
So
yes,
it's very weird. It's just weird.
It is.
He's the what?
Nothing. I was just acknowledging that it's weird. It's weird that we have parts at all. It's weird that they're polarized.
But I've had parts that were, like don't agree with each other before. But this is like a wholesale rejection of the entire community.
Right.
And a disapproval of my existence. Slash whatever, you know.
Slash decisions.
Well, slash decisions, slash like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like any and all moments in which I was not being exactly him.
Right. 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 Yeah. So again, acknowledging all of those parts that have felt that.
It might be a multi-part part.
Yeah.
Like maybe not. Maybe I get to the bottom of this at one.
Ask all those parts that have been hurt or felt invalidated if they will notice you.
If they will notice me.
Yeah, if they'll just turn towards you.
Yeah. Again, have a good relationship with, you know.
And do they notice that you aren't damaged by him?
I think so. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. You can get his story, kind of like I got his story, or parts of it. And am unscathed. And his disapproval, he can have disapproval for everything in the whole world, and it's not going to bring self down. It's not going to make self lesser.
I feel like I can, like, kind of, yeah, I can be at the table in a way that I wasn't before.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't seem quite as dismissive.
Okay. Again, he might remain dismissive.
I know. I just mean like I looked him in the eye.
Uh-huh.
You know, like
How was that for you?
Honestly, weird. It's still weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird,
Yes.
but not upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, yeah, there's just a lot of, yeah, I guess there's curiosity. It feels like mystery,
Uh-huh.
which, I mean, it's felt mysterious from the beginning, but it was kind of like, yeah, charged mysterious. And now it's
Right.
just, now we're just looking at each other and I don't know what to do with that.
Okay. You could ask him what he'd like to do with your attention.
I basically said, like, I'm here. What do you want? And he says, I want you to be tough. And I'm having to dismiss, or not dismiss, but, you know, pat a part that's like, I am tough. You know, the part that wants to argue with everything he says. Like, you just don't, you know, there's a part that's like, you just don't even see that, you know, we are tough, just not in the way that you understand.
Yes. So we're excusing that part.
Yeah. It's very
maybe
hard. It's very
going back to curiosity.
Yeah, I am curious. It's just like every time he says something, somebody gets upset.
Yeah. So you could ask more about what is tough to him. When has that been important? When am I not tough, and why is that so important for him?
It's important because the world is tough.
And how do you respond to that?
It is. I agree.
Yeah, me too.
And life is tough.
Yeah. And if you weren't tough along with it,
I would be annihilated.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Does it feel okay to just stay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just funny how, yeah, I'm having to be very vigilant, persistent. Like like I said, every statement he makes, something
somebody is like, you know, some counterpoint, like, well, we're going to be annihilated anyway, you know.
Ah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I asked him, are you scared? And he was like, yeah, but I'm not going to cry or anything. So don't try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. He can be who he wants and how he is.
Yeah, he can.
So he's trying to protect you from annihilation by a tough world.
Yeah, or from, you know, just getting like run over by the tough world and the tough life and all.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I keep hearing you laugh, and I'm wondering what that message is. What is the laughter?
It's just, I don't know. I'm often amused by my parts, and like, I think I can.
The rebuttal again?
No, it's like I want to say like I think we can be friends, but there's a part that you know tries to jump in and be like, yeah. What? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'd really. It's funny because I'm hearing like you know, like Dick Schwartz voice, because I remember him saying this like verbatim, like, you know, a person talking to their critic, and all of a sudden they just really want to know why they're so mean to them or whatever. And it's like, that's where I'm at now. I'm like, yo, why are you so mean? But it's not from the same place as before. It's not like,
right.
Yeah, it's not coming from.
Right. And he's motivated by keeping you from being annihilated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like into this like tough love thing, I guess, you know.
Yeah. You can dismiss this idea if you want, but that message, that piece of information could be valuable to some of those parts out in the hallway or slipping through the door, to let them know that what he's afraid of is really big. And it's probably something that a lot of them have felt afraid of too, or might even feel afraid that he's doing to them.
A few of them are receptive. They're like, oh, well, that's not fun.
It's not.
No.
How would it feel to learn more about the fears?
His fears?
Mm-hmm.
It would feel okay with me.
Just let him know that. And that it doesn't have to be shared with any other parts or me or anyone.
Yeah. He doesn't remind me really in any way of my dad, but he has like a dad-like quality to him. Yeah. Yeah. Like, the fear is that, oh man, this one is pretty common and popular. It's like, the fear is that you will fall apart if you know, don't do it like I say. If you suck it up, and if you don't ignore overwhelm or
you know,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
work your ass off. You won't make it.
You won't make it in a tough world. Yeah. How are you feeling towards him as you hear that from him?
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get the sentiment, and I get the truth that underlies it.
Mm-hmm.
But I still would prefer.
Yeah, that it did it in a less mean way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You could check with him. Does he like doing it in the way he does it?
He doesn't know how to do it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
He's just really he's just hell-bent on making sure that things don't go sideways.
It's an interesting choice of words. Sounds like it might be the opposite of hell-bent.
Oh, wait. What do you mean?
He's trying to keep you from the hell of annihilated by a tough world.
Okay. Well, by hell-bent, I mean he's determined as hell. Like, he's like...
Yeah, I get that, but it's not... Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not his aim is to make your life hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think... oh, wow. I thought we were like going to be way over time. I just looked at it. It's not crazy, is it?
Well, this has been a very a lot of energy going into this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can, like, I think this will be easier next time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I was permitted one more question, it would be,
you can go.
How long has he been doing this? I'm especially curious about the annihilation stuff. How long has this been important for him to look out for?
Let me make sure I'm asking him.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my parts answer stuff about adulthood, and he's like, especially since then, but again, he has this dad-like way, and another answer that he gives is like, since you were born. Like, since you were born.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Long time.
I'm kind of old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I bet he feels like it's been a long time.
Yeah, that feels like the truer answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And maybe it was a tough
Uh-huh.
since then.
Mhm. How are you feeling towards him now?
Yeah, embracing, but yeah, embracing. They're grateful.
Yes. Yeah. And you showing him that?
Yeah. 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 He's like, let's go get ice cream.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. When's the last time he's had time for ice cream?
I don't know. I mean, I have ice cream sometimes, but I don't
When's
know.
the last time he felt like he could take a breath from a tough world and have some ice cream with you who he doesn't disapprove of?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably a long time. It's just so strange, the things. He's like, yeah, let's go to Costco or something.
Huh.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I think, yeah, this is a good place to be.
Okay. Update him with your real age. Go have ice cream.
Oh my God, this is so strange. It really does feel, yeah, it feels dad-like, but not like my dad.
Yeah.
Other than my dad, completely other dude. But like, yeah, the relationship, the feeling is very dad-like.
Mm-hmm.
Strange.
Yeah, and I hear that it sounds really strange. I just also want to let you know that from my perspective, none of it sounds strange at all. Like it sounds really. I'm sorry. What?
You got a dad-like part too.
This is a protector. He's a protector. It sounds like protectors to me.
Yeah.
And he's concerned about annihilation, which is what I don't know.
What dads are concerned about.
Is what maybe all exiles are ultimately concerned about, and protective parts are trying to protect.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think there's not a aforementioned one, but yeah, I think there's a baby part.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah.
When he said before or since you were born, like I heard and saw. My baby.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Well, shit. Oh.
Great job.
Same.
Thank you to him.
I feel like you were very patient with all of my argumentative and protesting parts.
They did great.
Yeah.
They did what we asked, which was show up if you need to, step back if you can.
Yeah. They're like, we need to. We still need to.
Yeah. And you can go be with them, and
Maybe they can have ice cream too.
I would be a little careful about opening that door that wide yet, but I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a new relationship that you have with this part, and I would just...
Yeah, we'll stay in the room for a while, but I am of the experience that parts can change their minds about each other.
They certainly can, and that should be their prerogative.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, but it doesn't hurt to be like, do you guys want ice cream?
Yeah, and you can give them all ice cream. I was just talking about mixing and matching, and yeah. Like,
maybe not time to have
this part this part that's been perhaps looking out for a baby for your entire life and just met you and just went from a part that's only ever cared about working and has now offered you ice cream. I think that is pretty special, and I just want to... And you can ask those other parts that they can have their special time with you too, but
I wasn't. Yeah, I get. I smell what you're stepping in. I get it.
Got it. Yes, awesome.
Yeah. This is wild. Okay, this is further than I thought we would get. I was like, this is going nowhere. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. That was really great. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Okay. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows, that might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube, and they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.